we're tracking severe weather across the Midwest right now. But what happens right now could determine where the biggest threats develop. So stay with me as I break it all down. So let's get right into it. Taking a look at our threat today, we have a moderate risk all the way from Indianapolis, Indiana, down to Springfield, Illinois. All of you guys are going to be in the threat for the greatest severe weather today. I think our main threat is going to be tornadoes and wind damage. And then we do have our enhanced risk stretching down from Jefferson City over to Fort Wayne. All of you guys are going to be in our second greatest threat for severe weather today. I'm watching you guys all the way from Minneapolis down to Wichita to Cleveland and Detroit. All of you guys will be in that slight risk, and then we just have our marginal risk there. And as you can see, we already have our chasers down here. They're all lined up ready to go for our severe weather today, and those storms are already moving through places like Springfield, Illinois, Peoria. All of you guys are getting slammed by some storms right now, but that's not our only threat, as we do have a slight risk down here in Louisiana and Mississippi. This is because of our tropical storm, and I think the main threat for you guys is going to be tornadoes and some winds today from this tropical storm Arthur. This is our tornado outlook. We have a 5% chance from Gulfport to Baton Rouge and New Orleans. I'm all watching you guys for the possibility of a couple tornadoes. Not be surprised if you saw 3 to 5 tornadoes form out here on the northeast side of this tropical storm. Going up north here in the Midwest, we have a tornado risk, a 15% chance for tornadoes to form today, all the way from Indianapolis to Springfield. I think we could be seeing up to EF3 intensity tornadoes today, and then anywhere in this other hatched area, we could be seeing up to EF2 intensity tornadoes today. So definitely just be mindful of that. Have your plans ready to go. Make sure you have those emergency kits, flashlights, and batteries, food and water for a couple of days, as the power could also be out due to us having a 30% chance for damaging winds. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour today. Stretching down from Cincinnati all the way to Wichita, Kansas. All of you guys are in the threat for 80 mile per hour winds, but our greatest chance is for damaging winds will be from Dayton, Ohio, down to Sedalia, Missouri. Here's our hail threat for today. We could be seeing up to the size of baseballs for our hail anywhere in this hatched area, and then we have that 30% chance for our hail stretching down from Indianapolis all the way down to Jefferson City, Missouri. A quick look at our slight risk here for Thursday. I think our main threat will be damaging winds and possibly some hail, stretching down all the way from Montpelier, Vermont, all the way down to Nashville, Tennessee. Here we do have that 2 out of 5 risk on Thursday. So if you live in places like Washington, Philadelphia, New York, Providence, Boston, Albany, Montpelier, all of you guys are going to be in the threat for some very severe weather tomorrow. Just a quick look at our tornado risks tomorrow. This is because we have a tropical storm moving through this area all the way through Louisiana to South Carolina. We do have that 2% chance for tornadoes tomorrow, and I would not rule out a couple of tornadoes. Taking a look at our greatest threat, wind damage tomorrow. Again, same areas as that slight risk: Nashville, Washington, Philadelphia, New York, Boston. I see all of you guys in the threat for some damaging winds, as the system from today will be moving on to you guys, and I will have another video out tomorrow about this, so make sure you stick with my channel. And then we have our tiny little hail risk out here in parts of Texas and Oklahoma. Then just a quick look at our day 3 outlook on Friday. We do have a marginal risk stretching all the way from places like Arkansas, Louisiana, all the way into parts of South Carolina and Georgia. I see all of you guys down there from Jackson, Montgomery, Birmingham, Dothan. All of you guys are going to be in the threat for a marginal risk. I think our main threats will be damaging winds, and I would not be surprised if they did have a little slight risk here, back here in places like Mississippi and Alabama. Taking a look at what the radar could look like over the next little bit here, we're going to have a tropical system moving up and moving over the southeast here. And we're just going to have this high pressure system over here for a little while. That's going to be dancing around, but then that moves out of its way, and we're just going to get this pattern where we see back-to-back low pressure systems forming over here in the plains, moving along the Midwest, causing a ton of severe weather. That includes today, and moving off into the mid-Atlantic and eventually offshore. So that's basically the pattern that we're going to be seeing for a little while. And we've also been seeing a lot of rain down here. Looking at how much rain we could be seeing over here over the next couple of weeks here, we could be picking up to a foot of rain over here in southern Alabama. Yes, you heard me right. A foot of rain. And that's not our only flood zone. We're going to be going down into Florida, picking up around 5 inches of rain. Over here near New Orleans, you're going to be picking up about 4 inches of rain. Then we have this little hot spot over here near the Mississippi Valley where we could be picking up to possibly 6 inches of rain. And then we do have another one of those hot spots over here in places of North Dakota and Minnesota where we could be getting up to 8 inches of rain. Here is what the radar could look like over the next couple of days. Here we have that tropical system moving over across the southeast. We're going to be getting some storms starting to pop off over here in Illinois and Indiana today. And just watch as that pops off near Indianapolis over here. You can see that line of storms. That is going to be our damaging wind threat today. And then behind here, all the way down here near Missouri and St. Louis and parts of Illinois, that is going to be our tornado area, and maybe even up here in places of Illinois and Indiana. This is our tornado parameter. This is where we could see some tornadoes today. This is the storm that we're going to be talking about. We have tornado parameter of around 6, guys. This is pretty bad. We're going to have likely to be what is to be a lot of storms today. Here is what some of those storms could look like around 7 p.m. You could just have a line of storms stretching all the way from Kansas up to Chicago here. This is going to be our line of storms that's going to be creating those tornadoes, those damaging winds, and it's really going to impact a lot of people. And this could come in rounds, especially the more north you go, the more rain you're likely to get with these storms. Now, I think our main area for tornadoes is going to be back here in Illinois and Indiana. This is our supercell parameter. This is where we could see some supercells. Again, we just have that line of supercells that's going to be forming here, and our greatest threat is going to be just south of Chicago here with a tornado with a supercell parameter of about 23. That is very, very high. And as I play this out here, you can see it starts to go south and then fade off a little bit. So wherever those supercells are, that's where the tornadoes are most likely to be. Here's a good look at our convective available potential energy, or our severe thunderstorm energy today. We could be picking up to 4,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE. My goodness, that is a lot of thunderstorm energy today. That is way more than enough for these storms to fire off. Well, that's about it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And again, I did make those other 2 channels, so go check those out. Finn's Fire Music and Finn's Flash Extra. Go check those out. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.